Hi, it's Paul here from Carole Nash Inside Bikes. And well, the weather's turned, it's blown an absolute hoolie today, but we're riding a bike that actually has been gathering headlines, well, for the past year. Initially we saw it, we went, wow, we can't believe this bike is costing 9 grand new. It's absolutely changing things in the marketplace. MCN have just voted it their bike of the year. It is the Honda Hornet 1000 SP. Now this bike grabbed a lot of headlines over the winter. Why? Because of the price. Standard version, 9 grand. This version, the more up-spec SP, a grand more. Now put that in perspective, you get a 1000cc super naked for the price of something like a Triumph Street Triple R. That is worth talking about. Honestly speaking, I never thought I'd ride an inline 4-cylinder 1000cc bike again. It's been years since the last rode one. I think it was a Kawasaki Z1000. And to be honest, why would you? There's some great triples out there, things like the MT-09, the Street Triple R, which we've talked about before. Great bikes and real world usability. So I spent a full weekend with this bike, and you know what? I think it is a bit too much for the roads today. But let me tell you why, and let me tell you a little bit more about the bike first. So the Hornet comes in a very strange sort of place. It gives super naked levels of performance. There's almost 160 brake horsepower from this. So it's a bit less than things like the Yamaha MT-10, BMW S1000R. But the price is less than the MT-09, it's less than the Triumph Street Triple R. That makes it kind of a bit of an outlier. So a bit about the bike. The bike does come in at a fairly low price, and you can see it. There are areas where, look, it's really well built, but some of the finishing isn't quite up there with what you'd maybe expect. Things like, you see the engine, a lot of exposed cabling, lots of exposed hoses. This engine comes from a previous generation Fireblade, and unlike things like the S1000R, there's no lower bodywork to sort of finish it off. It does look a little bit untidy. Things like, this is the SP version, you've got the upgraded Brembo Stylema brakes, great, but they've got those squishy rubber hoses on it. This is a Honda supplied test bike. It comes with Bridgestone S22 tyres on it, which is one of the homologated tyres, but roll this out of your dealership and you're probably getting Dunlop Road Smarts on there. Decent tyres, but they're not really super naked kind of tyres. And the same rolls in with the spec. It's got everything you'd expect. Look, 10 years ago you'd be going, wow, look at the spec on that bike. But things like the traction control, the electronics, the things that really make today's super naked stand out, they're not quite at the same level. But me, I'm just an ordinary road rider. I don't really need 160 horsepower. I don't really need all these electronics. And that, I suppose, is the dilemma I have. It's a lovely bike. Look, MCN awarded this their bike of the year. It's amazing value for money. It really is, pound for pound, probably one of the best motorcycles you can buy today. But to ride at road legal speeds, you're not scratching the surface. It'll set at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. You've just got tiny little throttle openings. It's really, really easy to ride. This bike with the Öhlins suspension, I think the suspension's a little bit choppy. It does feel a bit basic. There's no excuse for not riding it within the limits. But the minute you touch that throttle, it wants to take off. You know, you sit at 40 and you turn that throttle, I'll be honest, I've broken the speed limit quite a few times this last week, because you know what? It just instantly wants to take off. And that, I suppose, is the dilemma. Things like the Street Triple, with a smaller engine, less power, less cylinders means the power is delivered in a much different way. Actually, I think in the real world is a more usable, more accessible kind of performance. With this, the minute that you get in the fun zone of that engine, you know, you're in code brown territory, you are in speed limit territory, you know, so it's a funny one to review. I've really enjoyed it. I think this bike is amazing, and what it's done for the industry is fantastic, because you know what? Over the last summer, Triumph have knocked £1,000 off a Street Triple R. Yamaha are making a £2,000 contribution to an MT-10. So it's brought prices down, and that's really important in today's society. Whether it's for you or not, I don't know. It's a cracking bike. Honda deserve massive, massive credit. It is a bike that does feel like it's been built by the accountants to a degree, but it's got a lot of heart. It's just, can you access it all on the roads? I'm not convinced, but thanks to Honda for building it. It's an amazing motorcycle. I've got a written review on the website. You can also read Chad's review on the website. Let us know what you think in the comments. For me, great bike, bit too much for today's roads, but you might have different opinions. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching.